Hi, and welcome to Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I'll be doing a collective read today. Now, for those who have been with me before, you'll know that I've been putting in chapter markers in the timeline and in the description box below, along with whatever references I may make, whether it's music, video games, movies. That's kind of my bag. But if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for taking a chance on this teeny tiny little tarot channel. I know I don't have a huge library, but I love reading. All likes, shares, and subscribes are deeply appreciated because it helps other people find my little stories. Now, I'm going to put a chapter marker right here because I do have a tarot intro for those who are new to my channel and new to tarot. So if you've heard it before or you just want to get on over to the reading, that's totally cool. You can double tap with 2 fingers on the right side of your phone screen. It should move you towards or move you through the chapters. If you're on your laptop or computer, you can just choose it. But if you're here to hear the intro, it's nothing intense, but it is food for thought. So, tarot and oracles are tools for self-reflection. They're only meant to help guide you when you're making decisions based on your own inner moral compass in pursuit of your own particular brand of happiness. I am an intuitive reader, so I know tarot and I will read the oracles, but I rely on my ancestors' guides and the energies that I work with to bring forth the message. And there are only so many cards in any given deck, so sometimes a card will come out and I'll see it and there'll be a message attached to it that may not seem like it matches up or it might seem a little non sequitur, but that's because my guides are giving me the closest approximation to the message that they want to bring. It's up to me to translate it or interpret it, and it's for you to decide whether or not it resonates. And you'll know when it resonates because it'll feel like I've plucked a heartstring. You'll know right away. There will be no downtime. It'll make you think of a person, place, thing, event, memory. You will feel like, wow, this sounds so much like what happened last year or what I'm going through currently or what I've been thinking about that I haven't really told anyone, but here it is in a reading, which is really weird and kind of like synchronistic. That's resonating. And the thing is, it's not always going to resonate because it is the nature of this read. It's a collective read. I'm tapping into lots of different energies. Sometimes the energy will be one huge collective energy that everyone is feeling at the same time because we're all subject to the same planetary movements in the universe and in the cosmos, but how we react to them is different. And so sometimes it'll be one whole message, and sometimes it'll be at the beginning, there'll be, a certain collective message that kind of gives away to a second collective. If all that resonates is just a 5-minute little blip, that's fine. Take it. Roll with it. Apply it in whatever ways you need. But the thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you are the maestro of your own destiny. You call the shots. The universe and fate are things that I believe in. I believe in fate and destiny, but I believe they only take you so far. It will present you opportunities, paths, doorways, timelines, whatever you want to call them, but the opportunity to experience, to live, to love, to laugh, to learn, I don't know if I said experience, but it bears repeating, experience. Because it's like going to a buffet. The universe is providing all these different possibilities that you may like and you may not like. Things that you're familiar with and things that you have never experienced and you may or may not like or learn from it. But no one is forcing you to put anything on your plate. You can always choose what you want to experience or consume. Or you can think of it like the universe giving you a stack of paper and a pen and saying, what do you want to write for your play? I can provide the stage. I can provide the players. I can provide the backdrop. But what story do you want to write? Because you are in charge of your life. Now, I have seen it in other tarot readers' comments where people will listen to a reading and get head up in the comments and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. The thing is, it's not a one-on-one. It is a collective read, which is why I do this whole tarot intro. Tarot collective reads, I'm channeling what the strongest energy is feeling, and I'm not telling you how you feel. I'm confirming to those that it resonates how they are feeling, like I can feel it. I'm not saying this is your future and you will feel this way. I'm saying this is how you're feeling now. These are things that I can see that have happened. So what do you want to do going forward? No one's going to tell you how to live your life. Only you can do that because you're the grand maestro of your own destiny. So if you find yourself getting a little like, well, You know, just take a deep breath and be like, okay, out of thousands of different readers with thousands of different cards and thousands of different messages, why did I get upset? It's hard to do shadow work. It's not easy, but it's always freeing. So that is my little tarot intro. You are in charge of your life. You are the grand maestro. You call the shots. You write the story. So what story do you want to write? So we're going to do a little pre-shuffle. I'm going to start ringing a bell to call in spirits. So just as a FYI. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the pre-shuffle. I'm going to shuffle a couple of cards. Whatever comes to the table is kind of how the collective is feeling coming into this reading, okay? So let's see what we have. Okay, so we have two that came out. So the first one is wishing well and coming apart. Sorry, that was my elbow on my table. So wishing well and coming apart. Now, it's interesting that wishing well, when you look at it, it is quite literally a wishing well. There's magic, and I like how there's this mask, almost like I'm getting very fae-like vibes, very attached to the earth, elemental kind of energy. It's a literal wishing well. However, we also have coming apart, which leads me to believe, I'm sorry, my elbow keeps rubbing on my table. Sorry. But the coming apart card, this also is leading me to believe that there is a, what's the word I want to use? There has been a division between you and an energy, or an old version of yourself and a new version. There has been a clear-cut line that separates energies, whether or not it's you with an energy or your current self to your former self. Now, the wishing well, again, like I said, is very magical, but when it's together, I'm hearing, I'm wishing you well. I'm wishing the best for you. And how sunny this card is, how magical it feels. It feels like this intent is true and honest. This isn't the energy like good luck, not like that. No, like a genuine and honest, I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you well. And it has something to do with division. Again, whether or not you are dividing from someone that you've known, best friend, a lover, a family member, you know, like you're just like, I don't want to say cutting ties, but recognizing that there needs to be space or separation between you and this individual. But at the same time, because it feels deeply personal, it could also very well be a division between your current self and how you used to be, a version of yourself you've grown past. And the wishing well is the energy with the personal energy of division, former self versus current self, is like almost like a forgiveness energy. Okay, something is telling me that you used to be very hard on yourself over things that you have done in the past. Very much chastising yourself for the things that you've done, the way that you've acted, the things that you've said, the behaviors you displayed while you were in a wounded state. But again, there's this division that I'm seeing between, again, you and an energy. It could be someone like a love relationship, or someone who has very close ties, like a best friend or a family member. There's something very personal and deep about this kind of division. That's why it's a little bit hard for me right now to figure out whether or not how deeply personal is it because a former self and a current self, or is this someone that you had close ties with, that your lives were intertwined, and now there is a required separation from you and this energy, And you are literally wishing them well. Like, I wish you the very best. Like, thank you for being part of my life. I'm wishing you well on your journey. If this is the personal, like the vision of former self and current self, it's like you're forgiving yourself for the things that you've done when you were in a wounded state. So, interesting. Okay. Hold on. I'm just waiting to see if I hear anything else. Nope. Okay. So we're going to keep going. Okay. So then we have one card. Stuck in the mud. Sorry about the glare. Stuck in the mud is a very interesting energy because it's giving... It, to me, it's right as it is. It's giving the hangman energy. This elephant is facing one way, but this bird on the elephant's back, this messenger animal, is facing the other way. Almost as if this messenger animal, this bird, is trying to inform this elephant well, at least in my practice, elephants represent determination, tenacity, breaking through barriers. But this elephant, it feels like it's facing the wrong direction. And I'm hearing, yes, this elephant is tenacious and steadfast and wanting to break down barriers, but they're focusing on the wrong thing. Like this bird energy is trying to show them which way they should be going. Maybe this has a lot to do with how you're handling this division between your former self and your current self. Pardon me about the glare again. Or having to do with the division between yourself and an energy that was intertwined with yours. Again, deeply personal, so it could be a love relationship or someone that you've had like you've built a life with or you live with. It could be like a roommate even that you've lived with for a really long time. I'm talking like years. You've lived with them for years. A loved one, a family member, a best friend. Again, deeply personal. And it's like you're, through this division of energy, you're feeling, you're like you want to grow, but there is a stagnancy. And it's like you're trying to break down the wrong barrier. And when I mean that, I'm saying, okay, hold on. I just want to make sure I'm getting this out correctly. You're trying to break down the barrier of healing, like saying, I need to heal, so I need to break down whatever's stopping me from healing. But this bird energy is telling me, no, it isn't the healing that you have issue with, that you need to break down the barriers. You're doing well at healing. The barrier that you need to break down is different. It doesn't have to do with your ability of whether or not you want to heal or how hard it is to heal. I'm hearing the bird is saying there's a different barrier that you need to be focusing on. There's no barrier to your healing. You're already doing it. There's a different barrier that needs to be broken down or taken down or navigated. We'll do one more. Last one is details. There's something about, I just heard fine-tooth comb. There's something about that elephant energy wanting to break down barriers and thinking that there was a barrier to their healing. Bird energy is saying, no, there isn't a barrier to your healing. You're actually already healing. What you need to break down, the barrier that you need to break down is different. You need to redirect your energy to the finer details. Fine-tooth comb. There's something about, you understand that the division between you and this energy, whether it's your former self and your current self, or someone deeply connected to you in a close way, a lover or a loved one that you're in a relationship that you are now breaking from, And these division of energies, I don't feel like these are tumultuous or tempestuous. They feel like, not that they won't be, sad or painful, but it feels like this division of energy understands it's what's needed. Okay. So again, whether or not it's a roommate that you've had for years, and so like your bills and your living situations are intertwined with each other, or if it has to do with a lover or a loved one that you've dated for a really long time, that perhaps you guys have grown together but now are wanting to go in different directions, and so you're amicably parting in order to continue forward on your own destined path that you write as you go, because you both want to move towards something different, but something. You both want to move towards something. If it's a family member, this is breaking from, a family paradigm or a family structure that doesn't really adhere to you, that doesn't really feel authentic to you, or doesn't allow you to be authentic to yourself. And so, as amicably as you can, you are moving away from that. It's all in the details. There's something about fine combing through all of that. It's, again, I'm kind of being bombarded with that elephant energy that's like, I just need to break down this barrier so that I can heal. The bird energy is, there isn't a barrier to your healing. You are already doing that. What you need to be focusing on is the fine-combed details. Like the everyday occurrence, it feels like. So, for instance, if we're talking about a relationship that is ending, it's not just healing from the relationship. It's how to go on day to day afterwards. How do you to recognize and how to change your rhythm, your structure, your day to day routines without a certain energy in it. It's not the healing that you have issues with. It is the fine details that need to be addressed. If it's your old self versus your new self, it's not just saying, okay, yeah, no, I can heal. Next card that came out was Golden Palace. We're going to get to that in just a second because it's going right into what I'm about to say. It's not that you there's a barrier to your healing for your current self from your former self, but is having the grace to understand that your former self, the wounded self, healing is not a moment, it is a process. So there's going to be times where things in your life are going to trigger you or bring that past previous energy forward, and through your healing you'll learn how to manage it so you don't react from a wounded place but from a healed place. This is where the Golden Palace comes in. 2 + 3 is 5. That's like Hierophant energy. This is understanding, having structure, treating yourself like a sacred temple, your body like a sacred temple, giving yourself the grace, the time, the patience, the humility, the devotion to be the person, and allow yourself the time and space to be that person. Whether or not, no one is perfect. The healing process is ongoing for many of us. And that doesn't mean that we're never going to be feeling wounded or triggered again. But what it does mean is that when we heal, we have better tools, or we are equipped with different tools to handle when life throws us those curveballs. So we can act from a healed place rather than a wounded place, treating ourselves like a sacred and sovereign being rather than constantly, nitpicking and chastising ourselves. Okay, so let's get into the energy. Now, I'm going to be, because there is that division of energy, whether or not it is a former version of you or in a current version of you, or a previous person like a past lover, past best friend, past roommate, past family member that you are kind of separating your energy from. You guys are you collective are striking out on your own because you are in pursuit of your healing as well as your happiness. So I'm going to be using, they're called Tarokka cards. They're from Dungeons and Dragons, but I like how they have archetypal characters in it. So I'm going to pull a card as to what the energy is current and what the energy is previous, and or your energy and the energy of the person that you're separating from, so we can have an understanding of what the situation is. So this will be your current energy or you, and this is your past energy or the person that you are kind of dividing away from. Okay, so this is for you. There we go. So we have the Priest. So we just had a card that I said reminded me of the Hierophant. This is an energy of being healed, understanding structure, understanding that there needs to be a balance both in your physical body and your spiritual body. This is someone who trusts in their intuition and trusts in the universe. There is a deep spiritual belief in self. I mean, yes, you are watching a tarot reading, but I mean, specifically, this is someone who is very spiritual, very, very spiritual. Now let's look at maybe your previous wounded self, or the energy that you have to. Oh, I said you have to, and I didn't mean to say that. But I said it for a reason. This is the energy that you have to move away from in order to become this version of yourself. Okay. Okay. So that is a lot of cards. No, that's too many. Okay. Just one. What is the energy that the collective has to move away from? The Illusionist. The Illusionist. This is someone who, okay, if this is your past self, this is a version of you that would, and if you look at it, it actually is, especially when it has to do with, yourself. This is you looking into a mirror and your ego. And when I say ego, I don't mean arrogance. I mean like your egoic mind, our self-limiting thoughts and the things that we tell ourselves because we have to adhere to society's idea of what a fully functional adult is, because you have to look a certain way, have this certain job, be educated in this certain way, da-da-da-da-da. All these parameters that were put upon us that often make us feel like we aren't enough. But if we look at what we want internally from a heart space and a soul space, that is our true self. So this is you looking into the mirror. And if this is your past wounded self, this is you looking in the mirror and your inner egoic self, the self-limiting thoughts, being really hard on yourself, being really critical of yourself, looking back at you, telling you all the things that's wrong with you, right? This is what you need to walk away from, that kind of energy. No longer chastising yourself, no longer feeling some type of way about yourself. Now, if this is a person, like if this is a past lover, a past roommate, a family member, this is someone, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it, who was trying to sell you a dream or sell you an idea and wanted you to take, oh my gosh, I heard take the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Like, I don't believe that this energy, this past lover, this roommate, this family member, that they were doing this in order to hurt you. But there is a kind of a shadowy energy to this. Like they needed your energy around to make them feel better and make them feel fulfilled or whole or happy. And the thing is, we all are in charge of our own happiness. There's no one person who can make us happy. They can add to our happiness, but our happiness is dependent on ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, because how we feel about ourselves is directly correlated to the happiness we feel externally. So this person, whoever this is, roommate, past lover, or family member, was deeply unhappy with themselves, and having your energy, or whoever this resonates with, having your energy around them made them feel whole. They were using, and I don't really like using that word, unconsciously. This is not a cruel person. This is not a purposeful parasitic person. That's not it. But they don't understand. They haven't yet realized that the happiness that they want has to start with them. So if it's a past lover, maybe they are anxiously attached, or maybe they have low self-worth. If it's a roommate, same situation. Maybe they're anxiously attached to you as a roommate and or have low self-worth, or they're a family member that just couldn't understand that you needed to express yourself in a very authentic way, in a way that's wholly your own. Like they needed you to be a certain way, or to always be there, or always to be available, but you are your own person. You could be a young person who, in this situation, it could be, especially when it has to do with family, you could be a young person that's striving, that's trying to like stretch your wings to fly, to be your own, like the baby bird leaving the nest. And like the nest mother is trying to keep you at home because they feel comfortable with you at home, but you're ready to fly. Either situation, the energy here is not cruel. It's not mean. It's not trying to stifle your freedom. Their happiness is tied up in whether or not you're present, and that's not how that should be. Especially if your presence there is at their at their demand, that they need you there for them. They're not thinking about how you're feeling. They just want you to be there for them. And so it's kind of an unhealthy connection. Again, not one born of cruelty, but one born of, energy trauma in their own wounded state. So again, if this is you, a former version and a current version, this is your old wounded self that has told you that you're not good enough. And this is your current self that's healed, that's moving forward. And that doesn't mean you're never going to have like those moments of shadow or moments of being triggered, but through your healing, you're better equipped to move forward. Whether or not you're separating from trauma and woundedness to being balanced, or from a past relationship that, again, not cruel, but was only focused on what they wanted and needed and not worried about your wants and needs. And so there needed to be a division. This is the energy we're working with. Already so involved. Okay, so we're going to get some oracles to go with those. Okay, so what can we tell about the situation? What's going on in this situation for the collective? Okay, so we have the card Peace come up. So harmony, order, calmness, serenity. This division, it feels necessary. It absolutely feels necessary. Not a suggestion. Not a maybe you should consider this. No, this separation, this division of energy is absolutely 100% required for you to be balanced and healed. And honestly, for if it is a person, for them to recognize without your energy filling this void or filling this need, that they have to start focusing on the fact that they need to step up and take care of themselves. By the division happening so that you can focus on your healing and move towards your own happiness, whether or not it's a job, a new place, or a new relationship that you want, it's allowing this person to have that freedom to be unconnected so that they can find their road. And in this division, I'm saying it's not cruel. No, it is sad. There is sadness here. This division may not be easy, but it's necessary for you to heal and for them to find their path. It really does feel like that. There's a certain amount of peace that will come from this needed separation. Life without grit or texture or ups and downs, if our lives were always up, then how would we learn anything? The universe teaches us these things by putting lessons in our lives. And sometimes the lessons are how to love ourselves and how to prioritize ourselves. how to prioritize ourselves and how to love ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't mean it's always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it is hard in order for us to understand we deserve something good. We deserve something better. We deserve to focus on ourselves and figure out what about our energy do we need to heal. Okay, so let's keep, oh, there we go. So then we have individuality. So be wary of possessive partners. Maintain your individuality. I literally just said that when it came to this energy over here, that it may be, again, not through cruelty or any sort of malicious intent. This person required this connection, required you to be there for them to feel whole. Whether or not it's a roommate that you've lived with for years and financially and like you've built a little life together, or if it's a love situation, you were dating someone, same thing. They're reliant on you and you were reliant on them for bills and having that life together. Or family who's used to having you fulfill a certain role and now your life has taken shape and you want to move towards a different thing. And them wanting you to stay where you are inhibits your growth. This is more and more and more feeling like this is a situation with a person. This very well could still be a former version, a former wounded version of yourself and a present version of you. And if it does resonate, roll with it, apply it how it will. But right now I'm saying it does feel like a necessary separation between two energies. One who is on their path of healing and needs to take the next step in healing, and one who needs to find their path of healing. Does that make sense? Both need peace. Both need individuality. Both need a strong sense of self-worth, self-strength, and just self. Let's keep going. So then we have fixing them. You can't fix someone. They have to want to change. Accept them or let them go. Oh my goodness, this is... All right, this is about two people in some sort of personal relationship. I'm not going to say it's romantic. Let it resonate the way it is. But it is someone that you have an emotional tie to. There is love there, a type of love, whatever it's familial, friendship, romance, whatever it is. You can't help them. They need to see it for themselves. You, collective, okay, what I heard was you've gone through your shit. You've gone through your ups and downs. You've gone through whatever it is that you needed to go through in order to get to the next step of healing. And that next step of healing is knowing when to step away, which is the division. That is your next step of healing, is knowing that just because you love someone doesn't mean, just because you love someone and just because they're a good person, that's what I heard, doesn't mean you have to stay with them. You're not obligated to stay with someone just because they are a good person and that they need you. Because then you're putting their wants and needs before your own. Sometimes the greatest act of self-love is knowing when to step away from someone who's taking the focus off of us when we need to be focusing on ourselves. And sometimes the best act of love for this person is to step away so that they can recognize they need to be their own source of happiness and then find the path to happiness and healing. You can't fix anybody. They have to want it for themselves. There's no amount of conversation that you can have over and over and over and over and over again with someone regarding their self-worth, addictions, self-esteem, habits. They can only hear so much and they can only take your advice and your point of view so much, but ultimately they have to be the ones to want it. They can respect your opinion, but they have to want it. So there is a lot of need for healing here. You're already collective. You're well on your way. This person needs to start that journey. And then we have leap of faith. It's scary to start all over again. Let me move my little candle thing over a little bit. It's scary to start all over again, but it's required. And look at this person's face, this leap of faith face. Leap of faith face. Like she's just full of joy. The freedom, the openness of this. This is something that's what you want for yourself. Okay, so can I get some clarification on the piece? We have more clarification on this piece. We have love's journey. It is love's journey. And don't be mistaken. Just because it says love's journey doesn't mean that the division happened because this person has someone else in their mind's eye or their heart's, desire. And that's why they're leaving this person. Very specifically, it's a love journey of themselves, recognizing that they need to do this for themselves. Now, if doing this for themselves leads them to heal and meet someone new and or to create the relationship that they've always wanted, that is a separate issue. But this separation, this division isn't happening because there's someone else that's filling in the spot of the person that the separation needs to take place from. It is a love journey of self. Who they meet afterwards or what relationship they create afterwards is contingent on how much they love themselves. This is you, collective. I don't think you're leaving this person because there's someone waiting in the wings. I think you're leading this person, you're dividing your energy from this person because it's just time. You don't want to jeopardize your happiness anymore. You want to focus on your healing. And yes, maybe in the back of your mind there is a relationship that you want or the type of relationship that you want to build. But don't mistake it. You're not leaving or disconnecting yourself from this energy that needs their own healing because someone else is waiting in the wings. You need it for yourself. This is a journey of self-love. Any love that comes after your split is directly corresponds with how much self-love and how much self-worth you feel and that you've worked towards for yourself. Okay, so for individuality, we have balance. Juggling too many things at once. Find time for yourself. So yeah, with this individuality, the divide is happening because of the fact that what collective, you may have felt it. You may have felt like this person was, again, I want to be very clear. This person is not cruel. This person is not bad. They are wounded. Just like you were wounded and are healing from it. It's just you are a couple of chapters into your healing and they're just starting their journey. They may not even recognize where they need to start or how they need to start. But again, you can't fix them. You can be kind and supportive. And again, sometimes the kindest and the greatest act of love that you can do for yourself and for someone else is to prioritize what you need to do so that they can prioritize where they need to move, where they need to grow, where they need to heal. It is creating a balance for yourself. And by creating your balance for yourself, you're giving them the opportunity to find balance and healing for themselves. I don't know why I keep wanting to stress this. This relationship isn't one of hate or animosity. This is a milestone for both of you. A milestone, collective, because it's just time. It's just time. You're wishing them well. You want them to be on that journey of growing. And this is a wake-up call for them. So that they need to no, wait, hold on, I heard, so that they can move towards where they're supposed. I just heard right now, there is a path for this person that would not have been possible if you hadn't walked away. You understand? Like, if you separate your energies, you, collective, can move towards the destiny that you want to shape for yourself. Their destiny couldn't have been possible unless you were able to release, because it was time. Universe is saying it is time. You are restoring a balance. It is time. All right, clarification on fixing them. Twin flame. Okay, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hold on, I'm getting like, I'm feeling a really strange feeling in my like heart space and in my throat chakra. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get emotional. I just said that you, collective, you're not leaving them, or you're not dividing your energies, away from this person because there's someone waiting in the wings. You want to heal yourself first. Whatever comes after it, whatever relationship builds from that, is a direct correlation of how much you allow yourself to love yourself and prioritize yourself and know your self-worth. And I said, by you moving towards what your destiny is allowing them the ability to go towards their destiny. And with this twin flame passion card just coming up, oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. This connection was necessary, and the separation is also necessary. Because when I just said, this is a milestone. This is an awakening for this person. The milestone is because you all were able to be in this relationship and you were able to divide away from this energy so they can be on their path and you can be on yours. Because I'm hearing very strongly, it's because you are going to be coming into union with their twin flame. Because collective, for who it resonates, you already know who your twin flame is. But again, this was a fated meeting between you two, because you learned so much with this energy of how to draw healthy boundaries, knowing when to love yourself and love them enough to let them go and to let yourself go and to release and to move towards your destiny. You already know who your twin flame is. You want to heal so you can be united with them. And I just heard, by you doing that allows them the path to meet their twin flame. They would not meet their twin flame had this a relationship not taken place. And they wouldn't meet their twin flame unless you were able to recognize that it was time to move in separate energies, in separate paths. This is what I'm feeling. This separation was fated because you both learned a lot from each other. You understood boundaries. This one's learning about boundaries and self-love. You know who your twin flame is. They have not met theirs yet, but in this division, you will reunite with your twin flame and they will find out who theirs is. That's what I just heard. Oh man, I have a frog in my throat. I feel like I'm going to cry. Then we have open chapter. There are still pages to write, so make them great. If you listen to my tarot intro, I talk all the time about how like fate and destiny brings you to certain points, but it's up to you to make a decision about how you're going to act, what path you're going to walk, the things you're going to say. It's like the universe giving you a stack of papers and a pen and saying, what story do you want to write? What screenplay do you want to write? I can provide the actors, the stage, the costuming, the music, but what do you want to write? This open chapter under the leap of faith is you, collective, had the choice. You were at the crossroads. Do you stay with this energy? Not cruel, not mean, not antagonistic. There's no animosity here, but there's some sort of disconnect. And you knew it was time because you were healing. You were ready for your next level of healing. Spirit, maybe you've been having dreams or seeing synchronicities, but something was telling you it is time to move to the next chapter where self-love and self-worth is ramping up every day so that you can better prepare yourself for your union with your twin flame. And this open chapter for this person is the recognition, the path, the possibility for this person to be presented with their twin flame path, but they have to choose it. The vision of energy allows you to move towards your destiny, provided you want to shape that destiny the way that you want, and them the same. I'm going to get some, actually, you know what? I'm going to get some messages from Spirit really quick. Hold on just a second. Let me get it. Let's see what we have. Okay, so let's message from Spirit. Spirit, what do you want to tell the collective? And maybe even their person? A failed past relationship is affecting this dynamic. Wounds need to be healed and released before movement forward is possible. In the most straightforward way, and no fluff. The universe is saying that this relationship, it's time for that chapter to close. The wounds that need to be healed, you, collective, are already working on that healing. You already are in this priest energy. You've already done a certain amount of healing, but the need to move on to the next chapter, the next level of healing, the next stage in your journey is contingent on knowing when to walk away, knowing when to be like, you know what, thank you for being part of my life. We learned a lot together, and I feel like it's time that we move in separate directions, and I wish you the best. I wish you all goodness and love and hope. And this person needs to know how to heal themselves, because they're never going to find a person that will do the healing for them. They will find people who will be supportive of their healing, but they have to want it first. And I feel like that healing will start happening for them when they recognize who their twin flame is. Now, specifically, I want to ask when this might take place. Now, take it as it resonates. I'm asking when this may take place, but the month may be significant to you anyways. You'll know when you see it. You'll know. But let's see what we have. When will this division likely take place? Or, I just heard, what month will be significant for this? Okay, so let's see what we have. May. So something possibly happened this past, month. We are in May currently, right now. So this message may be incredibly pertinent to you. Take it as it will, or take it as you will. But this reading may be especially pertinent to you because something has either taken place or has the wheels have been set in motion. Perhaps there have already been discussions between you and your person of how, the business of breaking up, how to unweave your lives to move separately. If you're roommates, how to give each other enough time to find a new place. If this is a family situation, having that conversation to understand, hey, I'm moving out in like a month or two. By the end of June into July, I should be into my new place. There's something about May. I'm feeling, and honestly, it feels like the wheels have already been put into motion. That's why May came up. So there's something significant about this weekend because it is the last couple of moments in May, because I think was it tomorrow? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. It's either the 30th or the 31st, but May has been very, very pertinent. So, and normally I don't post on Saturdays, but I felt really inclined to post this. So it's there for someone, even if it is just one person. This is meant for someone to hear today, before June. I'm sending you all so much love, and just listen to your inner voice. Don't let negative self-talk get a hold of you. Understand your worth. You are sacred. You are sovereign. And always pursue your healing. Always pursue your healing and your happiness. Thank you so much for letting me read this for you. It means the world to me. If you really resonate and you really like my style of reading, please consider sharing, and subscribing. This is Rabbit and Moon Tarot. My name is Angel, and I will see you at the next read.